Hi, this is Moon Mama at Valley Moon. I wanted to introduce myself a little bit and my new YouTube channel. I wanted first this awesome cup, Drink Up Witches, which of course leads me to talk about the whole word witch. It can be very controversial, of course, or it can be totally fun and exciting. I want to give just a little bit about my own experience. We all have a different experience with it, of course. I feel for myself, I knew this was in me since I was a little girl. And I was a tad different, I'll admit it. I remember people saying that I was weird, and honestly, I didn't think I was weird. I didn't feel weird to me, and I only knew I was weird as I grew older, and I was told I was weird, and things that little girls do that really aren't that weird if you weren't in a modern day society. You know, gathering things in the woods, or collecting things of nature, or sitting and thinking when other children are playing, or feeling like you're talking to your angels. Things that are normal to us that over a period of time, by the time we're midlife, we lose and we believe are actually weird when they're not. They're very natural and normal. I personally, several years ago, was a Baptist, and I was a staunch Baptist, and that's my background, what I've been. I mean, of course, before that I have more background, but what really affected me the most to put me in this staunch, frozen, locked up place was being Baptist, and the rules and the regulations. And looking back to that time and what in the world overcame me to want to do that, it was fear. I knew at the time when I was doing those things, it was fear-based. The patriarchy, the just the cloistering of, you can't do this, you can't do that, this is wrong, that is wrong. So many cool parts of me that I knew God had created. Like, I knew when I liked them, I was trying to prune and get rid of and just eliminate from myself, and which I did pretty well, to the point where there was not really anything left to me. But wait, that's what we're told to do. However, you couldn't stand to be around me. I was so judgmental. I was so angry and annoyed if you challenged my belief system. And through life, through lessons in life, a series of events happened that, caused me to question my faith, to say, this formula did not work. Something is off here. So I realize now, and I'll get off that topic, it was comfortable for me to become religious, if you will, because it caused me to not think about my gifts. It caused me to not expand and explore my spirituality. It caused me to be in, which I thought at the time was a safe place, where I didn't have to make any real decisions for myself. I didn't have to see or know or understand what truly I was supposed to be doing with my gifts, what I was here for, because I could just fall under the church in a guise of religion that I did, all these things, so I'm good. I'm good. Give me the rule book. I'll continue to read this. I'll read that. You had your clique of people you hung around. You were approved. You were pat on the back. Your ego was huge. And I think that's a lot of reason you can fall into that trap. Okay, so fast forward to several years ago, when I'm secretly looking into to who I know I am, and I'm wondering about the only book I'm reading. I'm wondering about other things I can read, or things I can experience personally. Allow myself to experience things. Take the the chains off myself and just allow myself to pray freely, to meditate freely, to do yoga, to work with crystals, to work with candles, to work with the elements, to work with herbs, which, by the way, those of you that do believe in a God, he created all those things. So, the idea of do not touch, do not taste is so ridiculous to me. So ridiculous. So eventually, as I pursued these things in the closet or in my meditation room, for me, little by little, I felt more comfortable letting people see those parts of me. But as I became more comfortable with myself, I became very much more uncomfortable with the people who surrounded me with their staunch rules and regulations and expectations of not only me but themselves. And yeah, I've lost a lot of friends. I think somebody watching this is probably going to think I'm a Satanist. Another funny part of this, just skip over to here, this is kind of a rabbit trail. Obviously, a lot of people, when they get on this journey and they're open-minded and they're wondering, you stumble upon Wiccan, and this is no offense to anybody who's watching this in Wiccan, but I saw the same set of, they were different rules, of course, but I saw the same model that I saw with the Baptist Church in the Wiccan religion. Here's your set of rules, and here's what you need to do. You need to chant it this way, the chants. You need to fill out this form, and if you want to be a true Wiccan, you need to do this, that, and the other thing. And again, it was so like paper cutout, so everybody, here's the model, now everybody be like this. And I think we're wrong when we follow something like that. And I'm not saying Wiccan's wrong. I'm saying personally, my personal opinion is we're all created different, and what's good for one person may not work for the other person. Not to say that there's not going to be a group of people that agree, yeah, that's how I do it too. But to propose or suggest that someone doesn't have healing power because if you're a Christian because you don't follow the Bible right, or if you're Wiccan because you don't follow the Wiccan creed right, and to propose if you don't follow those things, you are evil or bad is so ridiculous, because you're just judging. You're basically judging because somebody else isn't doing what you're doing, which is so mind-blowing to me, even though I used to totally, that was me. I was that judgmental person in the name of, I need to save you. So I want to encourage anyone watching this who is solitary in what they do. Maybe you don't know a lot of people that do it just like you, or maybe you don't know anyone, to do what you do. Not be afraid to do what you do. Embrace your own healing power. Embrace your intuition. Embrace every magical thing about you that your creator and it has given you. And just about me briefly, also my own beliefs are, I still believe in God. I believe he has created me for a purpose. Jesus is my master. Right here, I have this tattoo, my first tattoo, and I knew I'd be kicked out of the Baptist club when I did that. And it was a good feeling. I don't think they're going to take me back. But what I find super interesting, and I have a few tattoos. Anyway, what I find interesting is my tattoo social experiment, and it truly is, because oh my gosh, I used to judge people with tattoos. I judged my own kids when they got tattoos. I have a bunch of adult kids, and yes, I do. I'm going to be 49. That's why I have a tank top on, and it's almost winter. Menopause is real. So anyhow, I got these tattoos as besides loving them, and I think they're beautiful, and each one means something super significant to me. It's a really incredible social experiment, because the people that consider themselves holy and religious and pure and clean, and they're unlike me, are very judgmental of my tattoos. Not all, not all. There's wonderful people who serve God and that are not those people, but the people that I know, for the most part, not all. Then I find this interesting too. If I would be to go, let's say there was a coven meeting somewhere, and I went there with my Jesus tattoo, again, I would face judgment. To go to some places that have seminars or spiritual, open-minded things, when they see that, they say, oh, not all, but I just find it interesting how I get it from both sides sometimes, and I think it makes me stronger and more in touch with who I am and what I am doing. I just want to encourage anybody that's in the closet with this. You can't just jump out of that thing, I know, and just be, I'm out. It's not like that. It's a process. It's a process. And for me, acknowledging that I'm in the broom closet, I'm in here. I don't like it. I don't like how it feels. I don't want to be in here. How can I get out of here? What can I do? And just as you start to think about that energy of opening yourself up, and for me, I really just breathe in, and I visualize the white light just coming in all the way down, through all my chakras, down to the root, down to the feet, and then exhaling all the negativity, all the fear, all those things that I'm afraid of, as I'm visualizing and contemplating the thought of coming out of the broom closet, little by little, just by focusing on it and sending that energy out into the universe. The door, first I unlocked it, and I popped it open a little bit, and I smelt the fresh air and the light, and I thought this would be so great if I could just get this thing open. But then I was okay with it open a little tiny bit. And as I continued to do this, I didn't really push my way out like, I'm here, just thinking those thoughts, as I said, and praying, meditating, whatever you do to get in touch with your soul, your heart and soul, who you are way deep inside of you, will gently open that door, which happened to me. And the door opened, and then pretty soon the doorway wasn't even there anymore. And I realized this over time recently, that forget the door, there's a huge open archway. There's not even a place for a door anymore, and it's just been super freeing and healing, and it took a while. It took a few years now. It wasn't fast. So it's easy for me to sit here and say, it'll just open, but it was a learning experience. It's the process of believing and knowing who you are that you'll take with you on the rest of your journey. I hope that I have encouraged someone. I also hope that I have helped anyone understand that, or at least have a little peek into, if you know somebody that's a healer or intuitive, you don't really understand what they're doing spiritually, don't assume that it's negative. Even, most law of the Wiccans or whoever you be is to harm none. To harm none, because how many times have you heard somebody who's not a Bible reader talk about karma? I mean, it's a basic law, basic principle. And yeah, there is Satanists, and there is people, totally working on doing evil for people, but that's not your typical thing with a witch. It's not typical that they want to harm anyone that's a witch is a healer. And when the witches were killed, it's because they were healers. They knew how to heal, not because they were doing evil. That is a stereotype that Hollywood created. That I wish I could get people to research things and actually look into the facts of things, because you're basing your assessments and judgments on Hollywood and children's books, and it's It's ridiculous. So I hope I've helped somebody open their mind today just a little bit on both sides, because I think it's super important that we love one another and accept one another and try to all work together to heal the land, heal the people, and create peace within our sphere of people that we know, to build each other up and not tear each other down through assessments when we don't know facts. You know, if you aren't sure about something or someone, ask to spend time with them. Ask to get to know them before you just throw them under the bus. And for those of you that are going to get thrown under the bus anyway, rock on. Get out from under that bus and do your thing, because we got this. So, drink up. We'll talk to you later. Bye.